My name's Andrew, and I love landscape photography. Every year, I try to become a better photographer by visiting locations that inspire me and sharing that journey through my photos and Instagram stories. This year, however, I decided to do things a bit differently. I wanted to document my photo trip through video to give a more complete perspective on the ups and downs in trips like this. I wanted to share some of the stories that never make it to the photos. This year, I returned to one of my favorite places for photography, Canada's Yukon Territory. I've been here several times before. It's where I gained my love of camping and hiking, and also where I captured some of my favorite images to date. This territory holds a special place in my heart, and I think it's only fitting that my first video comes from here. On this trip, I was joined by my good friend and hiking buddy, Dean Heliotis. You're going to see a lot of him. He's a great photographer as well. Dean and I hiked in all kinds of conditions on this trip. Sun, rain, fog, wind, you name it. It was really unlike any trip I'd ever experienced before. And frankly, there was just too much to share on one video, so I've split this story into 4. This is the first installment from my 2021 Yukon photography adventure. Like all of my trips, this one began with meticulous planning and hours of packing. However, even the best of plans are no match for bad luck. A significantly delayed flight meant there was no way we'd arrive when we planned, jeopardizing our rental car booking and the rest of our trip. Despite our worries and challenges, we remained hopeful that things would work out. After arriving a day late and low on sleep, the Yukon wasted absolutely no time in impressing and inspiring us. We arrived in Kluane National Park only moments before sunset, and while we were eager to catch up on sleep, Mother Nature had other plans for us. We made the most of our less than 12 hours in the park, with few of those used for sleep. Before long, however, it was time to cross the territory and head north, where the real adventure would begin. Welcome to day 3 of our Yukon photography adventure. It's been a bit of a fiasco so far. We had some pretty substantial travel difficulties getting here and some frequently changing plans, but the first 2 days are done. We're back on track and heading up to Dawson City now. So with any luck, we'll have some pretty interesting stuff to share later on today, but we'll see. Stay tuned. The drive to Dawson is a long one, made longer by construction. After upwards of 7 hours in the car, we had hoped to explore Dawson by air on this evening. Unfortunately for us, changing weather meant our flight would not be possible. As a consolation, we instead chose to visit a familiar area in hopes of photographing a beautiful sunset. Sadly, as it turns out, we had not yet shaken our bad luck, and there was no sunset to be had on this evening. Dawson City is a really interesting place. It looks like it could have come right out of a history book and has sought to remain true to its gold rush heritage. Despite Dawson's charm, it wasn't our final destination for today. We were headed to Tombstone Territorial Park to seek fall colors and dramatic vistas. We spent much of the drive worrying about weather. The rain, cloud, fog, and wind made us wonder if we'd even be able to see Tombstone's landscape. Thankfully, we were due for a change in luck. Well, we're into the first hike of the trip, and hoping this is going to be a good warm-up for some of the more aggressive hikes coming later on, starting tomorrow actually. And you know, we were pretty worried on the way in that there wouldn't be any fall color left. Well, we were pretty worried there wouldn't be any fall color at the beginning of the trip, considering how late in the season we're coming, but it seems to have been the opposite. And thankfully, not only is there good fall color, there seems to be a whole lot of it left. Get a look at this. Well, we got where we're going, up to pretty much the top of Rake Mountain, where there's a number of really good photo opportunities, really pretty. I guess if this was a test to see if we're in good enough shape to get where we're supposed to be going tomorrow and for the rest of the trip, I'm not sure I passed, but we'll make do with what we got. However, it is beautiful up here, and we'll take the opportunity and try and get a few images of this really incredible place. And not bad conditions either. I'll take it. Well, this is embarrassing. We got all the way up here and I forgot the tripod in the car. So now I have to try and handhold all my images up here, or borrow Dean's tripod. And thankfully he's a nice guy, so he's let me do it once already, but see how we do with hand holding. And there's some pretty incredible textures on a lot of the little spaces down here, and there's a really cool little lake that I'm trying to photograph with some really crazy textures, and just letting the shadow kind of come in and out to create some more interest as the scene changes. Pretty incredible, really. See? I told you Dean was a nice guy. Our first hike of the trip went remarkably well, despite a few challenges. Tombstone had certainly showed us some of the magic it's known for, and while this marked the end of the first segment of our trip, we had one more order of business to finish before the day was truly done. I firmly believe that it's critically important to finish all great hikes with a great meal. Despite the challenges we faced in the first few days, we still came away with a number of images we were happy with. Our first hike in Tombstone was certainly a good warm-up for what was to come. The next 2 weeks would prove to be one of the most memorable experiences of my life to date. If you've enjoyed the first few days of this story, be sure to stick around for the next 3 videos, where Dean and I venture deep into Tombstone and later explore Kluane National Park. Thanks for watching.